Coming up next, people don't like working from home. I'll share the data and I'll teach you on the law of the zip code. We'll take your calls and your chats, and it starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you can get there. It is about your purpose, and your purpose is not about you. It's actually about others. You were created to fill a unique role. You were created to contribute to this world through your work. And we're going to talk about the work aspect of your purpose and contribution. In short, it is simply about other people. Somebody out there needs you to show up and be the best version of you. So we're going to help you get clear. That's the first stage. Then we'll help you get qualified. That's the second stage. We're going to help you get connected. That's the third stage. And then we're going to help you get started. That's the fourth stage. And then we want to help you get promoted. That's the fifth stage. And we want you to step into that dream job. That's the sixth stage. And you'll walk in 6 and 7, those two stages together, because the final stage really is the realization of this entire journey. That's giving yourself away. So work is now completed to the point where it's about legacy and impact. 844-747-2577 is the toll-free number to jump in. 844-747-2577. What stage are you in? How do you get to the next stage? That's what we're going to discuss. And it's all about you. Some of you are watching, you've been watching the show, and you're going, I'm too nervous to call in. Call in. Today could be your day for a breakthrough. Absolute breakthrough. So call 844-747-2577. While you're watching here on YouTube, we'd love for you to give us a thumbs up right down below the video window. And you can submit your question via the chat window next to the video, and we'll bring a few of those up on my computer later in the program. Also, a special tribute to a really special individual that left this world over the weekend. And boy, I've seen so much out there about this individual, and I'm going to share a clip from a commencement address that's just going to warm your heart and remind you all why we do what we do on this show and on this planet. So all of that coming up, a lot to get to. We're jam-packed. But first, new research out says that working from home is disliked and is bad for most employees. So when COVID hit, everybody was sent home. Where we stand right now, we still have 42% of the U.S. labor force working from home full time. Now, I think there were a lot of people that early on went, woohoo, this is kind of cool. I mean, sucks that we're in a pandemic, but I do like the idea of working from home. I think there was a general sense of this is kind of fun. And companies and individuals really adjusted, and they were very effective. However, the Martech Group surveyed 1,214 individuals across various industries and demographics and seniority levels and found a significant decline in mental health across all industries, seniority levels, and demographics. In fact, most people, the majority of respondents, said they do not enjoy it. Not only is it tough on them, they're just not enjoying it because of the strain and the lack of connection. 27% called themselves discouraged. 32% dislike working from home and don't want to continue. Job satisfaction dropped from 57% to 32%, and job motivation dropped from 56% to 36%. So why am I sharing this? Am I trying to poo-poo remote working? No, I'm not. But the data is showing us that the lack of connection and collaboration, I think those are the two C words. The lack of connection and collaboration is having a negative effect. And I just share the data to just simply say, if that's you, you're going to have to realize that you're not alone. If you're feeling that way, and that's been a negative impact for you, you need to understand you're not alone. And then you also need to understand, hey, I'm going to have to do whatever it takes to get through this if I want to stay in my current job. because many of you don't have any say in this, okay? But if you do have a say in it, raise your hand. If they're allowing people to come back to work, you go, look, I'd prefer to come back. And if they're not going to change it, and you don't see any changes in the long-term future, then you've got to make some decisions based on that. Now, let's call out the people that go, hey, Ken, I don't get it. I'm in that small percentage of people who said they really like working from home. Great, good for you. But be aware that there is some consistencies across the board as to why it's having such a negative impact on people. And so be aware of it. Very important to understand. We are humans. Don't discount the human condition that needs connection and collaboration. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. Now let's go to Sarah, who joins us in Naperville, Illinois. Sarah, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, Ken. How are you?
I am living the dream, Sarah. What's going on?
So my question for you is that I'm starting a new business venture, which puts me in my sweet spot, and I'm fairly new to researching this topic, which has been around for about 100 years. So my business idea revolves around making that information available to the general public and easily accessible and searchable online. There are 4 to 5 published experts in the field already, but their work isn't really great and it's not well organized. So I'm essentially proposing to do what they do, but better. So I have plans for products and services that I would offer later that are specific to my skill set, but duplicating and reorganizing their research is the starting point for my business.
Right.
So I'm hoping you can help me figure out how I can honor their work and gain their respect in the field.
That's a really good question. You're not going to plagiarize.
No, the information's in the public domain.
Got it. Okay, got it. All right. And I knew you weren't. I was making that as a declarative statement, so I'm trying to walk through, what would you do that would upset them? It's almost like you have to create the if you were them scenario, right? So if you were them and somebody came along and did what you're going to do, what would be the things that would cause them to be upset or dishonored? It's almost like you've got to identify that first, and then say, all right, these would be the traps. These are the things I need to avoid because I want to honor their work. I want to say these people are great. They've done this, and I've taken their amazing work and research, and I've created this. So I think I wouldn't overcomplicate it is my point. And so that's why I'm giving you that exercise. Go the negative route. What would be things that somebody would do if you put yourself in their shoes that would upset you? Don't do those things. And then I think the way to go is to, again, make them look like the Mount Rushmore in this area. And you've taken their information, and because of the trails that they have blazed, you've been able to come along and do something great with it. So I just think that's the way to go, because you don't need their approval to succeed, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So this is all about respect. You just want to go about doing it the right way.
Yeah, and there's a fairly tight-knit community and a conversation around this. And I think I'm afraid of the worst case scenario would be that if I do get on somebody's bad side, that they communicate to the community like, hey, this new business that she started, this is a fake. This is, she stole our information. Right.
But now, one thing I wasn't clear on, and you did a great job explaining it. I'm just so new to this particular thing you're talking about. Did I understand you to say that they have a business as well, or they just did the research and they're more on the academic side?
Yeah. I don't think anybody's really making a full-time career of this.
Okay, that's great news. So you're really not. It's not like you're coming in and they did all this work, created a business, and you're coming in going, I'm going to read all the stuff that's public domain, and I'm going to go build a business that actually undercuts you all. So I think that's important for you to know, and I think that should take away a lot of your fear of hacking somebody off, because you're not competing with them. Doesn't sound like to me.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. So you're awesome. I guess I would tell you, do those things, and that's going to give you an honorable checklist. What's my honorable checklist? And then you got to let the chips fall where they fall. Because I do want to tell you this. It is still possible that you can do all those things, avoid the negative things, and do all of the positive, honoring things, and somebody still get mad at you that you came up with the idea and they didn't.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's just welcome to the world, right?
Right.
They could get upset and jealous about it and go, she stole our stuff. And you need to be prepared for that, by the way. And go, no, it's public domain. Like, just be aware. And so if someone was going to accuse you of something, what could they accuse you of, or what would they try, and what would your answer be? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the last piece, and you're going to be fine. Congratulations, Sarah. I am impressed. I think you got your act together, and you sound like you're ready to tear it up. So keep going. And don't worry about anything other than what you are doing. This is an important message, not just to Sarah, but to the rest of you. If you're in a similar situation, at the end of the day, the only thing that you and I can control is our actions. So if we are honorable and we are full of integrity, can't worry about anything else. Do we like being attacked? No. Am I saying that it won't sting? No. But I'm telling you, you can't worry about it. All you need to worry about and focus on is doing the right thing and let the chips fall where they fall. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577 is the number. Tasha is up next. And Puyallup, I hope I'm saying that right, Washington. Tasha, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Yeah, you did pretty good there.
Hey, what's okay? I want to do really well. Tell me the right way to say that.
Puyallup.
Puyallup. Did I say that better?
Yeah, you say the yow with a w.
Ah, okay.
So Puyallup.
Okay, very good. All right. This is good. Thank you for the teaching, Tasha. How can I help?
Yeah, I'm just curious if I should quit my job. I took your quiz online, and I pretty much summed up that I am in the right job, or I'm sorry, in the right
role, working
force, right role. Mm-hmm. No, not in the right role, but in the right boss, like education. I'm in education.
What'd your report say? What did the report say when you took the Should I Quit My Job quiz?
That I am in the wrong role in the right job.
Okay, wrong role, right place.
Yes. Correct.
Okay, now you and I are on the same page. I got it. Okay, wrong role, right place. And that means you're in the education industry? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I came from higher ed, and now I'm in a public. And I was in higher education for 13 years in a very good role, but it didn't move me forward and didn't pay well, so I got a better job. They pay me wonderful here. Mm-hmm. I still like the culture. It's very similar. Yep. But my environment in my actual office is not very good. I work with a very toxic coworker. And a lot of it too is, with COVID and changes. I got hired a year ago. And then 6 months later, we got moved to a completely new department, new supervisor. Pretty much everything that I had learned up until that point got completely removed. And now I am, my boss is kind of moving me into my strengths, which I appreciate. But on the other side, the emotional part of me is like, well, they're taking away what I know. So do they not think I'm competent enough? And I'm in tech.
Okay.
Just to clarify.
Okay. So they've moved you. You've just gotten a new, a role where you're in tech in the education space, correct? At a school?
I've always been in tech with education, correct.
Okay.
So I just moved departments. All
right. So you just moved departments, and in this new move, you've got a coworker who's really toxic?
Yes.
Okay. So it doesn't matter. I'm not trying to correct you, but what I'm hearing is you're in the right role. You're doing what you love. That's the right role, but you're in the wrong place in that you're in an environment where you've got an emotional toll because this coworker is so toxic. So this is a toxic coworker situation. That's what's causing you to not want to go into work, correct?
Mostly, yes. Well, my supervisor is more I'm getting used to, but that's only because he's been around for 8 months. So
okay, but my point is that that's what we're trying to figure out today. Should you stay where you are or leave because of a toxic coworker? Now, my first gut reaction is, why is the toxic coworker being allowed to be toxic? What's your answer to that? Have you made your supervisor aware that, hey, we got a real problem here?
Yes, he is aware. And a lot of it is new office dynamics. And she was pretty much my trainer before, and she's taking my skill sets and responsibilities being taken away from me as lack of competence, which is not true at all.
Who's taking
my
that?
My boss is reorganizing.
The toxic
coworker.
Right. But I mean, she's not your leader, correct?
Yes, correct.
Who cares what she thinks?
That's what my husband said.
Okay.
I'm also Enneagram 2, and that is my core thing is I want everyone to be friends with me, and I want everyone to like me all the time.
Okay, great. So since you're so this is fun. So are you familiar with Ian Morgan Crone?
Yes, absolutely. I actually listened to your podcast with him most recently.
He was at my house last night. We had cigars, by the way, last night. And we spent about 3 hours on my back patio. And I just want you to know, I'm going to channel Ian right now, okay? Ian's a friend. And Ian would say, I appreciate that's the 2 in you, but what's the healthy 2 response? What's the healthy 2 do with all of that desire for approval? You tell me.
More, I just want to be recognized for the work that I do,
right?
Which is the core foundation, right? And a lot of it is I went from 13 years knowing everyone and knowing everything,
right,
to knowing nothing and knowing no one,
right? Okay, and so there's all that's making you feel honestly just wobbly. You know what I mean? It's like you ever seen video of a newborn horse? You know, they come out of the and they're just all wobbly in the field, and they're just trying to, whoa, what are these things I'm standing on? And I think there's a lot of that which makes you feel unstable, and there's emotional realities to that. Then you've got this toxic coworker who's judging you. If I'm hearing this right, she's Judgy McJudgy, if we were going to give her a name. Am I right? Or him?
Yeah, and she's an Enneagram 6.
Oh, okay, great. So here's the deal. You don't answer to her. You don't report to her, correct?
Correct.
So what would you tell your kid if they were dealing with a Judgy McJudgy in class?
To ignore them.
Oh, fantastic advice. Because your leader, A, knows about it, and your leader needs to deal with it if she keeps saying negative things to you. It's basically a form of gossip, but she's gossiping at you, not behind your back. And so you need to go to the leader and say, look, I'm going to ignore it. I'm going to channel it, but I want you to be aware it's not stopping if it doesn't stop. The other thing to do with the Judgy McJudgies of this world, this is personal to me. So here's the asterisk, folks, to the advice here for Tasha and for the rest of you. I eat confrontation for breakfast. It doesn't even faze me. I don't mind it. I have no problem with confrontation. So some of you who can't stand confrontation, this is going to be hard. Hello, Tasha, you twos out there, okay? But listen, one of the ways to stop the Judgy McJudgies is to confront them. They don't like it. They don't like being told, hey, listen, this is coming across this way. I don't know if you mean it this way or not, but here's how I'm receiving it. I don't like it, and I want us to be able to get along. But if you're going to continue to be this way, then I'm going to literally have to just shut this down. And I don't want that.
And I've done that more recently.
And how'd she respond?
The last couple of weeks.
How'd she respond?
She was still rude about it. And a lot of it is she's only been in the workforce for like maybe 4 years, and I've had 13 years of experience. And so a lot of it is just tact. She's not, customers will come and talk to me, and then she gets irritated. And I'm like, well, you're not nice.
Well, here's the deal. So let me give you some more insight, which you already know. This has nothing to do with her lack of experience. Has everything to do with she's not healthy.
Mm-hmm.
She's not healthy. She's angry and she's rude all the time. There's a reason for that.
Mm-hmm.
Have some real grace for her. I don't know what's going on in her personal life. I don't know what's going on with her self-esteem, but I can tell you it's one of those things. Either crap's really bad for her in her life, or she's been hurt to the point that she's hurting other people. Okay? So it does not make how she's treating you okay, but if you're going to have the strength, because it's not up to you to solve it, it's up to your leader. But now that you've challenged her and she's still been rude, now I just turn the faucet off. Only talk to her when you have to. Kill her with kindness. Grace all over her. Just put grace all over her. When you have to deal with her, paint her with a paintbrush of grace. Just go, okay, all right, I got to do this. She's hurting. She's got some stuff going on. I'm just going to try to be love. And it's not easy, but that's what you've got to do. But I don't think you should leave, no. Why should you penalize yourself because she's a problem? Don't let other people who are problems penalize you. No, it's their job to get better. It's their job to deal with you, not the other way around. Never run away from a bully,
Right.
and never run away from a person who is bringing so much negative your way. Don't allow them to poison you. You know, I think positivity is more powerful than negativity. In that when you continue to shine the light of positivity on somebody who's negative, they're going to run away. Just like those little roaches do, by the way, when you walk into a room, you turn the light on in an old abandoned building. You know what I'm talking about, Joe. You go in an old abandoned barn in Tennessee today with a big old giant light at about 8 o'clock at night. There's going to be all manner of critters running to the corners. Why? They don't like the light. So you know what I do? You're negative? Awesome. I'm going to be so positive around you that you want to throw up. You know, here's what I love to do to negative people. This is a little extra. I didn't plan on going on to this, but we're going to do this. We got a lot to get to, and I'm just going to go. It's my show. My name's on the board, so here we go. Here's what's fun to do with negative people in the office. Okay, when leadership won't do anything, and they won't accept their role, and they come around and they just start saying something negative, just be like, "Oh man, isn't that awesome?" I got to tell you, just flip the whole situation on them. Go, "I actually think it's really amazing. My experience is completely different." And throw on it. I don't know if you noticed, I'm throwing on some extra enthusiasm. They hate it. Negative people hate enthusiasm. Drives them crazy. So when you're saying something positive to their negative, juice the enthusiasm, and they're going to be like, and just want to walk away. They just want to get away. So be a light of positivity. And I don't even care if you just pour it on. Joe, I don't even mind if you go all Magoo on them. Just over the top. And they're going to be like, what is right? They'll leave you alone. Trust me. And by the way, you go, well, I don't want them to say anything negative about me. They already are. So let's just go ahead, and we don't care what they think. We just don't want them around us because they drag us down. All right. Nathan, here's what I want to do. I'm gonna skip the chat window today. Well, I love the questions, but I'm gonna skip it because I want to get to Momentum Monday. I want to get to this clip we're gonna show. So really sad this weekend to see the news of Chadwick Boseman's death. Black Panther, played Jackie Robinson, and I don't talk much about my boys on this program as it relates to their story because it's their story. And so my wife and I, we're very sensitive to that. But for those of you that follow me on Instagram or Facebook and you've seen pictures of the boys, we have adopted 2 boys, and they've just changed our life, and they're biracial, and so with African American birth fathers and white birth mothers, and of course they identify as African American, and we completely support that, and we love those boys. And so, as a white father of African American boys, I mean, it's there's no playbook for this, and so we have always gone out of our way to make sure that they have great role models that look like them, and people around them in our lives and in our home and in their lives that look like them. And so, I will tell you that when the movie Black Panther came out, it was to my boys what that movie is for African Americans. And we've seen the unbelievable cultural positivity to see such a powerful character. And so anyway, just they love Chadwick Boseman, right? And they love Black Panther. They loved it. I mean, and of course we love it. It's a great movie. So anyway, Saturday morning, I'm having coffee and I see the news, and as my boys wandered downstairs, they slept in, I told them both, and they were both shocked. And so I was just reading all the news, and I saw this one particular clip we're about ready to play of Chadwick Boseman, who graduated from Howard in 2000, Howard University, and he goes back to speak a couple of years ago, 2018. He gives the commencement address, and if you want to just blow yourself away, go on YouTube and watch the entire thing. We're only going to lift just a portion of it, but Jackie Robinson. He played Jackie Robinson, one of the most significant African-American men in the history of the world, certainly in the United States. Just a wonderful, wonderful actor, and passed away from colon cancer and kept it largely hidden. He was 43 years of age, tender age. But I'm watching this, having coffee on my back patio, and I was moved to tears. And I just said, you know what? We got to play this. So we talk a lot about on this program, this idea that you were created to fill a unique role, you were needed, and you must do it. And you got to pursue it with everything you have, because if you don't become the woman or the man that God created you to be, it's not about you not doing it. It's about who you weren't being or who you aren't being for the people that need you. God created you for a specific purpose. And I want you to hear Chadwick Boseman's powerful comments. Watch this at Howard University.
You would rather find purpose than a job or career. Purpose crosses disciplines. Purpose is an essential element of you. It is the reason you are on the planet at this particular time in history. Your very existence is wrapped up in the things you are here to fulfill. Whatever you choose for a career path, remember the struggles along the way are only meant to shape you for your purpose. When I dare to challenge the system that would relegate us to victims and stereotypes with no clear historical backgrounds, no hopes or talents, when I questioned that method of portrayal, a different path opened up for me. The path to my destiny. When God has something for you, it doesn't matter who stands against it.
He goes on to say that when someone is standing in your way, God will remove them so that you can walk forward. And that is just a tremendous challenge to all of us, that there are going to be obstacles. And what we are required to do is to continue to step forward, to continue to move forward. And I got to tell you something. We all need to be reminded from different voices that we were, in fact, put on this planet to do something very specific, to make a contribution. And so powerful words from Chadwick Boseman. Again, I recommend you go watch the entire, I think it's about a 34-minute commencement address. Really powerful stuff. All right, let's go to, I want to move along here. I want to brag on some of you. This is our Momentum Monday, where we share updates from you. What, you got something? All right, let me hear it. Oh, okay. All right, there you go. I like this. Momentum Monday. All right, I got to be honest with you. The Shrek trumpets I wasn't sure about. Probably should have gone over that in production, but I do appreciate that, Joe. Good stuff there. Wow. Okay. All right. So here's what this is. These are updates from those of you on social media and email, ask@kencoleman.com. And we get these on an organic type level all the time, but we said, hey, we want you to send your updates on just any kind of progress so that others can see themselves in your story. And so this is from Ashley. She said, Ken, I'm at a career crossroads right now, and your show has given me the motivation and confidence to push forward with thoughtfulness, not fear. I stepped into an executive leadership role right out of my MBA program 8 years ago. The first 5 years were great. The last 3 years went downhill, and it became overwhelmingly toxic. I started my job search a few months back, looking to take whatever I could just to get out. I had an offer come up that would have been a 30% pay cut. And if I made that decision based on fear and humiliation, I would have taken it in a heartbeat. But I realized taking this position would be selling myself short, and it wouldn't put me on the path towards my dream job. I'm still in this toxic job at the moment, and I'm still working on getting clear. But now I have a roadmap and a direction. And instead of wandering blindly, hoping for rescue, I know that I'm going to find something that brings me joy. The confidence I feel moving forward is immeasurable. Wow. You know what I love about that? Nothing romantic in that. She's still not 100% clear. She's still in the toxic environment. But what is she doing? She's biting the proverbial stick, and she's going, I'm going to stay. I'm not going to do anything that hurts me financially, and I'm going to figure this out. And she will, by the way. Nicholas writes in, hey, Ken, I'm a 36-year-old that is still trying to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. It took me a while to fill out your career clarity guide on your website, but listening to other people's stories helps a lot. I've now realized my talent and passion. Until now, I didn't know that business process reengineering was a thing, but it is. And it just might be in my sweet spot. I made my first connection today and will continue to weave my web. I love that. The web of connections. We write about that in my best-selling book, The Proximity Principle. And then he finishes the email by saying, I can't wait to call in and do a dream scream one day. Way to go, Nick. That is awesome. So just a couple of thoughts there. We get a lot of those. We want to share a couple of those every Monday. We call it Momentum Monday. Joe's going to work on the trumpets. We're going to go back to the drawing board. I appreciate the effort there by Joe. First half of that, not so sure about. Second half, I liked it. But we will get back to it, Joe. And I love it. Thank you. Thank you for coming up with the stinger. And, we'll see. We got some people out watching the show in the lobby. I tell you what we'll do. We'll take it to the people. Is thumbs up or thumbs down on the trumpet opener of that? Okay, we have one thumb up and one thumb down. Nice couple. So I like that. I'm with you, sir. I think it's a thumbs down. Little on the cheese factor, but again, that's why we love Joe. Oh, really? Okay, all right. I can't wait to hear what options didn't make it. No, anyway, Joe, thank you. That is awesome stuff. Joe makes the show so good with all of that stuff. So fun stuff. By the way, before I move on, I listened to Madison's college football podcast. And so Joe, I'm at the house.
Yes.
And I've been meaning to listen to it. And I dial it up and I recognize the voiceover on the intro there.
It's a nice one, isn't it?
Well, yeah. It's funny, though. I was like, oh, you two are cooking up some stuff there. So
just sounds about professional.
He does.
You'd think we knew what we were doing.
Yeah. So check it out. Tell them the name of the podcast.
Bragging Rights without the G.
Yeah, Braggin. There's no G there. Bragging Rights. And it's a Madison and her brother's college football podcast, and Joe, the producer, is making a cameo as the voiceover on the inside there coming in. So it's kind of fun. I enjoy that. That's really good. But both of you, good job.
Thank you, sir.
I'm very proud of both of them. They're both very, very talented people. 844-747-2577. All right, let's talk about the law of the zip code. So in the book, The Proximity Principle, there are 5 archetypes of people that you've got to be around to maximize opportunity, to be able to move forward. Remember, the entire book is basically breaking down the proximity principle, which says in order to do what you want to do, you've got to be around people that are doing it and in places where it's happening. In other words, the right people plus the right places equals opportunity for all of us. You don't have to knock a door down if you're using the proximity principle. People will come to you and knock on your door and go, hey, I've noticed you. I've heard about you. Why? Because you've been intentional to be around the right people and be in the right places. So there are 5 archetypes of people, and then there are 5 archetypes of places. And so the first place in the proximity principle, the book, is the place where you are. And I wrote about that because it was the place that I think most people overlook. And that's just the natural condition of us humans, because we look out and we look up, and that's a good thing. But we many times overlook what's around us that we can actually step into or use or leverage to get started. And so that's when we came up with the law of the zip code. And this is what the law of the zip code says. It says everything you need to get started is already around you. And I think that shocks people, because we automatically think, oh, I've got to go over here and I got to go do this and I'm going to have to figure out this and this and this and this. And we come up with all these things that are out in front of us. And we don't look around us and go, wait a second, I can start learning here where I am. I can start connecting here where I am. I can start doing here where I am. Now, I want to be very clear. Most of the time, when you apply the law of the zip code, these are going to be small starts, smallest of steps, but that's actually what you want. It's not as intimidating. When you fail, you're not going to get hurt. And so understand the law of the zip code. It'll free your mind. No longer is the start so intimidating when you realize, oh, I can start small right where I am. That's the law of the zip code. Everything you need to get started is already around you. All right, let's get back to the phones. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577. Ben is going to join us in Phoenix, Arizona. Ben, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. How are you this morning?
Ben, I'm living the dream. What's going on?
So I've just been having some doubts and questions that the degree I just graduated in May with may not be my sweet spot. So I went through your career clarity resource to see if it see what my sweet spot is. I went through it and feel like there may be another field that would be my sweet spot, but I don't know if that is actually the case or if I'm just feeling a bit worn down of not being able to land a job in my current career path since COVID and graduating right in the midst of COVID and a lot of engineering firms even being shut down.
All right, let's put this to the test. Do you believe with tremendous confidence that you have the talent to pursue both of these career paths?
I believe so. I believe one a bit more than the other, but that could just be more that I've got a little bit more experience in the one.
Got it. Okay, great. So that's good news. So this really comes down to passion, the love factor, right? Of do you love the work? Does the work, and this is mission, does the work produce a result that matters deeply to you? And so that's the test. So which one of these two? So tell me the first one. What's the current career path? What was the goal?
So I graduated in May with a bachelor's in mechanical engineering.
Right, but what's the big goal on the mechanical engineering side, long term?
See, that's something that I don't think I almost kind of more went into mechanical engineering just based on like those little quizzes they have you take in high school saying, oh, you're good at math, go into engineering.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So what's the second career? What's the second career path?
So I've been kind of feeling that based on the talents and passions and mission that, and I'm sure you hear this a lot. I feel like I would really enjoy some financial coaching.
Okay. But is that that's what came out of my career clarity guy when you looked at your talent, what you do best, passion, the kind of work that you really love to do, and then mission, the results of that work that really makes your heart sing. That's what you came up with is working in finances, helping people with their finances?
Yeah, but then I also feel like based on those same results, engineering may fit as well. So I guess I'm just having...
Yeah, so no, you're actually really close. Don't be discouraged right now. You're second guessing. So when we look at talent, passion, mission, we know what you do best. You've got a math mind, problem solving, analytical kind of mind. Is that correct?
Correct.
Yeah,
I love math, love spreadsheets.
Right. Yeah, and you're good at it too. You're good at it. It's not just like you've got the talent, you've got that math, numbers, analytical, problem solving mind. Okay, and then you actually like doing that kind of stuff too. All right. So when we get back to the mission, so I think it's just you getting clear on mission. When you walked through that worksheet and it said, who do you most want to help? What did you write down? What was your answer to the people you most want to help? Or was it an organization? I'd rather help an organization.
One of the biggest areas I want to help is helping. I see a real big need and want to help fill the need of helping other students graduate without debt. Like I've been helping my sister go through spreadsheets so that she can graduate without debt, and then I worked really hard so that I could graduate without debt.
Okay.
And it's something that a lot of students really need.
All right. So where would you do that in the marketplace? Don't overthink title, but where would you do that kind of work where you would help students avoid debt to go to college or avoid debt to get the required education they need to do what it is they want to do? Where would you do that?
I feel like either talking with schools, especially the one I just graduated from, would be a good place because they would have all the connections, and to be able to do that, helping out my friends with organizing their finances to pay off their student debt.
All right. So basically what I'm hearing is, I don't know that that's a full-time job, but I also think that you love the idea of mechanical engineering. You can see yourself in the workplace coming in and doing that analysis and data crunching and helping solve problems maybe for an organization that indirectly, you can say, all right, that's how it's helping the consumer. And maybe the financial coaching is something you do on the side. But what you just described right now is not a full-time job that's going to pay you. And so you have to figure out, all right, would I rather go into financial advising and help people with retirement and things of that nature and get it with families and help these families not send their kids to college with debt? Can you come at it that way? Or are you a financial coach that's got a great full-time job and do the financial coaching on the side? Maybe you create a blog and a bunch of resources to help kids. I don't know what it is, but you have to figure out that combination. But at the end of the day, the reason I walk people through the exercise of talent, passion, mission is to find that sweet spot, and then where in the marketplace, where are all the jobs that would fit inside that sweet spot, that contribution zone, where you use what you do best to do work you love to create a result that matters to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so almost feeling like the mechanical engineering still fits along with the sweet spot, but then also even just doing some side volunteering.
Yes, sir.
Or
you're getting it.
Okay.
You see how freeing that is?
Honestly, yeah, it is.
Yeah, you're not choosing. In this situation, you're not choosing between one or the other. You're going both and. And by the way, keep playing this out. Get off this phone call, and over the next 72 hours, go back to that career clarity guide. Remember you and I talking and go, all right, well, if I were going to go the route of helping people with their finances, where are all the places in the marketplace, the type of jobs, and let me do a little bit more research and let's see what my heart tells me. But you're not having to choose. That's a false narrative, So you can do both, and that's an exciting thing there. So play this out, and I think you're going to get real clear in the days ahead. Really appreciate the call. Thank you so much, Ben. 844-747-2577 is the number. Remember, we're here live on YouTube at 12 Eastern Time every Monday through Friday. Spread the word. We are growing. This message is needed. And when you like the episode by giving us a thumbs up right below, you spread the word by subscribing and sharing a link to the show or one of the clips that we put out every day. That's how we grow. And so we are so grateful for you being a part of this community. My time is almost up, but I want to let you know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.